Hello, good evening. It is Monday the 15th of November 1993 and we are at Weston-super-Mare and we're going to see the greatest free show on earth, the November Carnivals. My name is Malcolm Jones and I shall be doing the commentary this evening.
I'm Sheila Lee Ewers and together Malcolm and I are going to talk you through the Weston-super-Mare Carnival 1993. We've already been talking to some of the people in the crowd. They're hoping, as it's the last in the circuit, it's going to be the biggest and the best, and they're looking forward to it just as much as we are tonight.
That's right, we can hear the carnival coming up the road now, so we're going into our commentary position and watch it with you. Come on.
This is it, this is the moment we've been waiting for. The very start of the Weston-super-Mare Carnival procession, and that honour this evening has been given to the Uphill Army Cadet Force. Right, this is the Newport Pipes and Drums from just across the Bristol Channel in Wales, the Newport Pipes and Drums.
Getting the 1993 Weston-super-Mare Carnival off to an excellent start.
These are, of course, just clearing the crowd away are the mounted police section of the Somerset and Avon Constabulary, and very fine they look. Of course, these horses can't be phased at all. They work in football crowds much more aggressive than the peaceful, happy citizens of Weston-super-Mare who come to watch the carnival.
Let's try and make this year's collection for charity even bigger than last year's. The clubs and committees work hard all year to bring you tonight's big free show. So come on kids, see if you can hit those claims. Throw your money in the collecting cart.
And this is what Carnival is all about. It's collecting money for charity. And I'm happy to say that there's a lot of money being thrown into the cart right now. And there's the people picking up the money after the float's gone past. You see a lot of collecting floats in this year's Carnival. Like I say, all the money goes to charity.
We're just coming into our screens now. You'll be able to see the Swansea East Carnival Display Band. There they are. Based obviously in Swansea, they're a marching jazz band. The youngest member is 7, the eldest 18. They've been 4 years in the carnival circuit, but they were actually formed in 1951, ready for the coronation of Queen Elizabeth, and became world champions in 1978, and they performed at Alexandra Palace in London.
And very smart they look as well. As always, the head of the procession is the fire engine, which we say every year, but we will never stop saying it because we can't say the praise enough, sing the praises enough of these people. They're the fire brigade, and they are on duty just in case there's any problem at all. Thank you. The Somerset, oh, this is probably the Avon Fire Brigade. Well, he's happy enough. Yes, it's the County of Avon Fire Brigade. And closely behind the fire engine is the ambulance service. Once again, all full praise to the ambulance service. Let's hope we never need them, but they are on duty.
What a start to the Weston-super-Mare Carnival, one of the most stunning floats on the circuit. The morning of the Dragon, the Gremlins Carnival Club from Bridgewater. They're based at the Snooker Centre, and I have to say it's one of my favourite floats for 1993. Just look at that. Our cameras have pulled back to give you as much of this marvellous float on screen as they possibly can. 44 years in the carnival business, and doesn't it show? Now the music and the theme is Morning of the Dragon, taken from the successful London musical Miss Saigon, and it's very much the Oriental concept book, bang up to date, 1993. Look at this, look at the carnival makeup, look at the float, the revolving Chinese figures, the dragons, the workmanship that has gone into this is incredible. Float designer Paul Redman, you have my admiration, sir. I think you're brilliant. It may not come as any surprise as you look at this to know that they've taken a first at Bridgewater, Petherton, joint first at Burnham-on-Sea, first at Glastonbury. To sit and admire and enjoy the spectacle. First float, the Weston-super-Mare Carnival. Morning of the Dragon, the Gremlins.
Yeah, it's just a surprise that they're going to be county champions this year, the Gremlins, no doubt about it. They've won 18 out of the last 19 carnivals. Great. We're into the Dragons Carnival Club in direct contrast, of course. The Dragons are from North Petherton, the Globe Inn at North Petherton, and they are that irresistible little rascal, the Blobby. And they're Blobbies on tour. Mr. Blobby and his family tour Europe. That's what it's called. They're touring Europe on their cycles, like the Tour de France. And then we see the Bridge of Sighs there in Venice, Big Ben, a Dutch windmill, and at the back is the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But if Blobby's around, no doubt he'll knock it over. And cleverly disguised, the generator later we'll see it's the, we just missed the generator, but it's a little Blobby bus. The Globe Carnival Cup, sorry Sheila, the Globe Carnival Club of Wells, and their entry this year, Odin, A Dream of Valhalla.
They're based at the Wells Rugby Club. 24 years in the carnival business. There you are, you can see the mask that heads up the front of the float. And the designer of this is Bill Baker. Congratulations, Bill, you've worked very hard on this. I mean, just look at, there it is, what a wonderful shot from our cameraman.
Yeah, we've got a special message here, Sheila, if I could say. There was a burglary at their home in Wales on Carnival night, and they would like to thank Bill, Anne, Marie and Lisa of the Globe Carnival Club, would like to thank all the other members of the Carnival Club who offered help and words of sympathy on their sad loss. I just thought I'd get that in. Sorry, carry on, Sheila.
Well, the music you can hear is Bonnie Tyler and Holding Out for a Hero, so you can enjoy the music and enjoy the spectacle that's crossing your screens in front of you. But obviously the theme is Vikings and it's based on Odin. They've got 6 model horses. In Norse mythology, Odin was the god of wisdom, culture and the dead, and Valhalla was the house of Odin. And what happened was that all the Viking heroes who were killed in battle were taken to Valhalla to be treated by the Valkyries, who were the daughters of Odin, who would mysteriously and miraculously heal their wounds.
Right, in direct contrast again, the Commercial Carnival Club from Redgate Street in Bridgewater, and they're a comic entry, I Can You. This is based on the theme of the Moulin Rouge, Toulouse-Lautrec painting the pictures of the Cancan girls. And what lovely Cancan girls they are.
And the sight that unveils itself before you owes a lot to Mike Clapperton. I hold him personally responsible evening. Mike's the designer of this float. Costumes are made by Wyn Pearce and Ronnie Dunbar, and the music you can hear is the Cancan, as performed by Bad Manners.
Flash, this is it, Flash. Based on the film Flash Gordon, this is by the Mendip Vale Carnival Club. They're based in Wells. Last year's entry was the Cocktail Cabinet. They're based at the Shurston Inn, of course, in Wells. And I no doubt you remember the great music by Queen of Flash and the movie of the same name. Well, this is their interpretation of that, Flash.
Now, if you look at the float here, you'll appreciate that there are 5,000 light bulbs in this. They've organised flashing lights by computer. They've got a 3-tier generator. The youngest member of the club is 16 and the oldest admits to being 50 with an ish on the end of it. 29 years with Carnival Experience, the Mendip Vale Carnival Club.
There's a great shot taken from our floor camera. We should be bringing you all the best possible angles to try and get all these floats in. You must appreciate that from one end to the other, they're 100 feet in length, and it's very, very difficult to pick it all up, but we do our very, very best, and I hope you enjoy the pictures this evening. It's going to be a great carnival.
And coming up on your screen is the end, there it is, the generator cover. Special mention to Angel Gaydon, who did all the artwork on the cart. Well done, Angel.
The Zigzag Carnival Club, and they present It's a Kind of Magic, which is a coincidence because that's another Queen.
Dose of Queen, yes, absolutely.
Yes, Zigzag are a juvenile carnival club. They come from North Petherton. They're based at the Swan Inn, and you'll like this one. It's a nice little gentle number with the kids as magicians and little rabbits popping out the head.
Have a look
The hats.
at the children who are dressed as rabbits in the hats. You see, there they are. Yes, aren't they absolutely gorgeous? The youngest member of Zigzag is 5, the oldest 13.
There's about 8 more rabbits than there were 3 weeks ago.
They would do, darling. They breed at an enormous rate of knots. Nice mask on the front of the float, you saw that. Oh, look at them, really getting into the spirit, aren't they?
Absolutely. Let us say a special thanks to all the mums and dads for the fundraising float building, and also a very special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Bernie Cole, the landlord and landlady of the Swan.
And also to Mr. and Mrs. Chorley, who let them use the barn to actually build the float and for the use of the tractor tonight. Now, 7 of the 12 members that you can see are making their debut. They'd like more members for next year. First of the trade entries that you're going to see here at Weston-super-Mare tonight, and this is Bristol Water, very much water on tap.
And there's the tap.
Ingenious designers, I like this float.
I used to be a tap dancer, then I kept falling into the sink,
Yes.
so I gave it up. Yes, it is ingenious. It's very difficult to portray water, and they do it by using water, which is even more dangerous in these day and age with the water falling off, but this is good. Water works, it's called, and it really does. We all take water for granted, but we shouldn't do, because a lot of processing goes into it. Make sure it's always fresh and pure, and we don't really appreciate English water until we go abroad and taste the ghastly goo that they drink in Europe.
Well, we travel up to London. I had a glass of London water once and reported it as being malfunctioning. They told me it always tasted like that. Rotary Club of Weston-super-Mare, you can see in front of you now. Obviously, one of the reasons for the carnival is collecting as much money as they possibly can for charity.
Yes, we have Tamaris Carver just come into view there. She's one of the walking entries. She's a magic of the crystal, and she comes from Lime Close in Frome. She's 12 years old, and she'd like to thank her ma for making the costumes. Very nice too. Tamaris. What a lovely name. Not all the money goes into the collecting carts, but they've got people walking behind picking up the money. We've got a Joker in the pack.
And a Father Christmas.
Let's do the Joker first, shall we?
And the Joker is Marion Amor from Lime Close in Frome, a regular entrant into the carnival circuit. We've seen on quite a few of the other carnivals in Somerset. She's made the costume herself. Look, I like that idea of the cards at the back. Nice idea. Well done, Marion.
Yes, there. Oh no, it's Father Christmas. That's what it says. The entry is called, and it's John Amor, and he's from Lime Close in Frome. Now that came as a surprise, didn't it?
Oh, the Britannia Carnival Club. Take a look at this. Tribal dance, 2 unlimited.
The entry is actually called Sue, and we just caught a sight there of the tractor driver who's been winning lots of prizes as the best dressed tractor driver. So we'll go back to the float proper, and then you can see the tractor there done up with a buffalo.
They've got buffaloes, they've got totem poles, you can see the shields, they've got the birds. Marvellous entry. They're based at the Horse Pond in Castle Carey. The more mature members admit to being 45, the youngest is 14. Brilliant music though, I mean you can really enjoy this.
That's a traditional Indian dance there, no doubt.
Not quite, but it's really good. Special mention for George Watson, Kelvin Tooth and Charlie Anderson. Also Will Waters and all the people at Castle Carey have given them such support during the year. Really good piece of music to move to on this. I keep threatening to all the circuits to disappear from Swift TV and end up on one of the floats and dancing. I think this could be one I join. They've got the dodo birds revolving, you can just see at the top of your screen. There they are. One of the people we'd like you to keep an eye out for on the float. First time in 10 years that their dressmaker, a lady by the name of Mary Edwards, has been persuaded to go on the float.
She's sitting there, look, that's her. She just moved off of her now. Rather a large girl, isn't she?
She's taken up her position on the generator.
Right, a long shot to try and do this huge entry justice is the Wills Carnival Club from the well-worthy Sports and Social Club in Bridgewater. Their entry this year is based upon the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Cats, and that is exactly what it is, Cats Now and Forever.
Now this is a tableau entry, but one of the things I'd like you to have a look at is the artwork on this cart, because it's absolutely stunning. I mean, the show just finished at the Bristol Hippodrome on Saturday night. So if you've been up there, you'll know that it's based on the Cats, the book, of course, by T.S. Eliot from East Coker in Somerset. But they live on a rubbish tip. But just look at this.
You see all the old favourites on there, Christopher Jones, Old Deuteronomy, and Mr. Mistopheles.
You can hear the music. You've got the Dulax painting. Have a look at the firebox. If our cameras can pick up the firebox in the front of that cart coming into screen now. Absolutely marvellous tableau. They've taken a first at Bridgewater, a third at Petherton, joint second at Burnham and second at Glastonbury. Don't forget, as you watch this video, make a note of who you think ought to win what prize, and then check out how close you were to the judge's decision at the end of the video. But look at the artwork on this Malcolm, it's wonderful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Truly magnificent.
Special mention also to Lynn Warren, who gave all the cart personnel a weekly workout for 3 months.
Yeah, she's not giving anybody a weekly workout now because she's 8 months pregnant. I know her very well. Well, not that well.
What to do.
Oh dear, what's this?
This is another flash.
Another flash, but the lights have gone out, unfortunately. Never mind. Oops, there's a lovely flash. It's the Newmarket Carnival Club from Bridgewater, and their entry is Flash Gordon, or their interpretation of Flash Gordon. And it's such a shame when the lights do go down, especially as this is the last carnival of all in the Somerset circuit. But they don't care, they'll go on. It's a comic feature, they have lots of fun. We can see what they're doing. We can see all that they're flashing.
The theme for this float is Flash Gordon crashes on Zootos. Make of that what you will.
Oh yeah, there's a...
And please will we say hello to Merv and his revolving teeth, and watch the bottom of your glass.
I'm laughing because I know these guys are absolutely crazy. Merv and his revolving teeth. You can always,
could have been right the first time.
You can always tell when Merv's drinking in a pub because he leaves his teeth at the bottom of the glass. Just so that nobody accidentally drinks his drink.
Oh, this is another good entry.
Yes, it's the Pirates Carnival Club, and they're from Weston-super-Mare, so it is a local entry, and they're justified and ancient.
This is the music, of course, which is the KLF, who did it originally, then remixed it and brought in Tammy Wynette and went into the charts again with this. Brilliant piece of music.
Yes, the theme is a fantasy world of Moo Land, with the sacred skull warding off evil and protecting the high temple. And there's the Lord of
Wilson,
Moo
you can
Land.
see there, who's the king of the Moo Land.
And all the Moo Movers.
They've got the statues, they've got the drummers. And thanks thanks to Dennis Tehan, who's the chief of the road crew. Poor soul, can't spend a day building without injuring some part of his anatomy. Please can we also say thank you to Tony for making the tea. He might get it right soon. And thanks to Roger Kitching for building the generator car almost single-handed.
And thank you to Con and Evelyn Flynn at the Bristol Hotel for giving them a home, and Evelyn for making them put money in the swear box for funds. Well, keep on swearing, boys. A little shot up the road now. This is the Vikings. This is presented to you by the Limekiln Carnival Club from the Limekiln Inn at Bridgewater, and their interpretation of Vikings, which is quite striking because it is very, very different. It's the Viking longboat, of course, but with the symbolic dragons spinning around and all the Viking warriors there.
And last year, of course, they entered the pride and the glory. This year's theme, as you can see, as Malcolm just said, the Vikings. But I do like the sort of the dragons, the sea monsters, the heads as they revolve. They're really good. Nice colours as well. But
yes,
very
yes.
often the carnival floats that you see are in primary colours. This is just something a little bit different. It's always interesting to see how the different clubs choose a theme for their float and then how they take it and develop it.
Alright, now we can see the Viking warriors as they slowly drift past us. Because this is the last carnival in the circuit, no doubt that they'll be setting this boat out onto the sea and giving it a Viking funeral. There you can see the models of the dragons turning around. Now we can see the generator float coming into view now with some very, very startling graphics on it. Excellent artwork. There really are some talented people living in and around Bridgewater in Somerset. Great talent. The Rainbow Juvenile Carnival Club, little bunch of walkers there, and it's all in a day's work. And it's various aspects of the working life. They are a teacher and fireman, traffic warden, an Egyptian.
Cosmopolitan crowd we are in Weston.
That little lady there, she's a tea bag.
Oh yes. NHS Cuts moving just across our screen now.
There's the
everybody's favourite.
Everybody's favourite.
We have to say this. Everybody. Do you note the sincerity here? Everybody's favourite. We don't mean a word. Oh look, there's. Oh, you missed it.
A little sailor. There's a fireman.
There's a tea lady. Tea is very important, isn't it, Malcolm?
Yes.
Especially when you're talking for a living.
Yes.
They should have had a publican in there. They've missed it. They should have had a publican.
And a lollipop lady.
And a lollipop lady.
My mum was a lollipop lady. She was very thin, 6 foot tall, with a big flat head.
And he looks just like his mother. But there she is.
The lolly lady. And
briefly.
That's the nurse chewing on her thumb. She'll grow out of that.
And there's Mike, our cameraman, working hard. Evening, Mike.
Right now we're looking at a presentation from the Bridgewater Cults Juvenile Carnival Club, and their entry this year is called Guardians of the Deep. And that's exactly what it is, a little underwater fantasy with the seahorses there and all the people of Atlantis, shall we say, and beautiful mermaids. Or to be politically correct, merpersons.
Yeah. They've used
she's a
clamshells.
lovely little mermaid. There she is. Bless her.
Oh, she's gorgeous, isn't she? As Malcolm said, they've got seahorses on this float. They've got the clamshells you just saw there. They've got starfish. They've got 10 guardians and 5 little mermaids on this float.
Well, that's enough for anybody, isn't it?
Captain of the boys, they're very democratic at Bridgewater Cults. Captain of the boys is Oliver Bennett. Captain of the girls, Kelly Mitchell.
I'd like to thank Joyce Quinn, Faye Addison and Olive Hall for making the very, very spectacular costumes that they're wearing. Just a very good entry there from the Bridgewater Cults Juvenile Carnival Club.
And well done to the design of Darren Lomax. to your screen now, you can see Avalon Round Table Collection Float. All the tables working very hard. Not a penny goes to waste, does it?
Oh, absolutely. Because this is only one small aspect of the round table's work. They do charity work all the year round, but they do help out with the carnivals, selling programs, etc. Here's a very unusual entry. It's Brian Gray, and he's from the Fiesta Carnival Club, and it's a Capo de Monte gardener. He's from Bishop Hall in Taunton, and he's a life-size porcelain figure. He'd like to say thank you to his girlfriend Maxine for the costumes, and he believes this is the first walking tableau, or the first time it's been attempted by a single masquerader. Yes, excellent. Very difficult pose to hold all the way down.
And here is Maxine, responsible for Brian's entry, also responsible for hers. The Beauty of Porcelain. She's from Bishop's Hull in Taunton. A figurine comes to life. An English country wedding is the entry we can see now.
Yes, it is. It's from the Young Generations Carnival Club of Bridgewater.
And their theme this year is A Scarecrow's Wedding, and the costumes were made by June Farrance.
Dear June, who was the wife of our good friend John Farrance, who was a one-time commentator who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago.
Now this to me looks like sort of a cannibal evening, wouldn't you say? Spot the cannibal.
Cannibals here.
Baby's potty. Very temperamental cannibal by the looks of it.
Yes, sir, that's my baby's. Its daughter's from the Marketeers. It is the Marketeers. I didn't recognize. I know them now. These are the road crew gone wild, and some of the wives of the Marketeers Carnival Club. Here are the Marketeers proper, and yes, sir, that's my babies with the wives of the Marketeers. Let's go on to the Marketeers Carnival Club and their entry, Skullduggery.
Piratical theme. They're based at the White Hart Hotel and 33 years in the carnival. And as our camera lets you see this float in its entirety come across your screen, again, it's like the Gremlins. Just look at that. If it's possible to move, they've got it moving. The engineering that's gone into this is incredible. They've got crow's nest, the rigging, they've got cannon fire, the rotating skulls. Look at the one at the front. There you are. You've got the pirates, the music. It's absolutely marvellous entry. Joint second at Bridgewater, second at Pemberton, third at Glastonbury. And a special mention for all vice presidents and helpers, and Teresa Scobie and Joe Moretti, the road crew, the halfway in, and the White Hart Hotel, the makeup girls, everybody who's pulled together to make this a marvellous entry.
Victory, that's the music. Victory taken from the Pirate, the movie. We fight to win. That's the Marketeers. They're fighting to win. Pirates on the high sea. That's the theme this year from the Marketeers Carnival Club. An excellent entry. Excellent.
Oh, and this is another very special entry. This is from the King William Carnival Club, based at, naturally, the King William in Glastonbury. Look at this. Look at the workmanship on that coat. They've used 100,000 sequins and 30 metres of material on that. That was Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
We expect this sort of thing from the King William Carnival Club. Last year, you may remember their very, very beautiful entry, Entrée La Cirque. And well, they've lived up to the standard they set last year. Beautiful headdresses, beautiful girls in beautiful costumes and cart. Indeed, spectacular.
It's a really lovely entry. They've taken a third at Bridgewater, second at Pemberton, joint second at Burnham, and a first at Glastonbury.
They've been getting better as the carnivals have been going along.
We've been some spectacular entries this year. Best wishes to Ron Ponton, who made some of the props but can't be on the cart because he's hurt his back. And also congratulations to Alf, a founder member. He's one of the elders. You can spot him in a white gown with black and gold decoration.
And then the men are wearing practically nothing. It was really difficult to hold a pose like this without, they get frozen to death practically. Especially when they go along the seafront here with a slight breeze blowing. Well, we all know how cold it gets at Weston-super-Mare.
But the research and the detail that's gone into this float is absolutely incredible. And just look as our camera picks up the artwork. I always like this on the generator. It's absolutely stunning. And now for something completely different.
Absolutely. The Marina Sydenham Juvenile Carnival Club from Bridgewater, the commercial inn in Bridgewater. And these were the days when music was music.
Boys were boys and goils was goils.
Yes, happy days. Here they are, all the Teds and all the little teeny boppers there. And not only have they got the costumes right with the teddy boys and the girls with their little petticoat skirts, but the haircuts, I love the haircuts.
They've got the drain pipes, they've got the shoestrings, they've got the DA quiff. You still got yours, kid?
Well, there's more A than D these days.
Oh, but it's good. I mean, look at the flow. I like the pages that they've cut out there and the musical notes.
Yes, the music. Shout, shout. Rocky Sharp and the replays.
That's it. The float idea came from little Michelle Patterson, who's 11, and that was designed by Richard Humphrey. Well done, Michelle. Nice idea.
Great look at it. I love it.
And their club captains are Sean Patterson and Jay Thomas.
We're looking now at the Young at Heart Carnival Club. They're based at the Cross Rifles Inn. That's in Bridgewater. And it's another Egyptian theme and a different interpretation of the same theme. Their entry is called Egyptian Splendor.
This is what we were saying earlier on, wasn't it? Just you take a theme and see how the different carnival clubs interpret it. This is a lovely entry. They're aged between 14 to 30, hence the Young at Heart. 9 years on the carnival circuit.
But this is their first year based in the Cross Rifles Inn. They've changed headquarters over the year. So there'll be a credit to the Cross Rifles Inn. It's a very good pub if you want to go there. It's on the Bristol Road. We love it.
We've been in it regularly.
Oh, yes.
Main feature of this is 24 moving parts and 9,500 light bulbs. Egyptian Splendor, Weston-super-Mare. Such a lot of hard work goes into these floats, doesn't it? You just sit back and look at it.
That's right, even though they're not wearing much, and we said about the cold, but there's actually a lot of heat coming off the lights in there, the light bulbs. So they'll be all right.
You think they have to keep these routines up? I mean, every float you see that is dancing, they have to keep this up the entire duration of the circuit.
Right, the Hockey Duck Carnival Club. They're from Colford, and their idea this year is Dinotopia, a little fantasy idea. Dinotopia, a land apart from time. The scene is set on a lost island of Dinotopia, a land where dinosaurs and humans live together in peaceful interdependence. And there's some beautiful models on here. They're made by Shapes. That's what he's called. Well, we know that Shape's daughter Amanda, as Glyn Hughes, his daughter Amanda is very ill, so we send her all our very, very best greetings, as do the club, and we hope to see her here next year, up and well and looking great, or looking as good as all the people on this float. Excellent.
Absolutely lovely, isn't it? Real fantasy float.
Yes, there's been a lot of applause in this area.
Oh, this entry owes a lot to Monty Python and the crew. This is the Highbridge Young Farmers Carnival Club, based at Seymour Farm Stretchold near Highbridge. Fat Jack's Lumber Shack. They have the lot. They have the red check shirts, they have the Mounties, they have the axe, they have it early, including the man in ladies' underwear.
Yes,
They
well.
don't make them like that anymore.
But I do in stretch out.
Oh, and very fetching he looks too.
Based on the Monty Python sketch and song, very famous song, I'm a
You're not. You
lumberjack.
said you wouldn't sing. You
No,
promised.
I won't sing
Thank
that one.
goodness for that.
You can always have a lot of laughs and a lot of good fun from the young farmers clubs over the years.
Leaping from tree to tree as they float down the mighty rivers of British Columbia. The giant redwood, the larch, the fir, the mighty Scots pine, the lofty flowering cherry, the plucky little aspen, the limping root tree of Nigeria, the towering wattle of all the shows, the maidenhead weeping
By contrast, this entry from the Windwhistle Carnival Club, of course, here in Weston-super-Mare, Vikings, myths and legends. That's one of the lovely things about Carnival Circuit, isn't it, Malcolm? It's just the contrast
Absolutely.
between the entries.
This, of course, is a local entry here at Weston-super-Mare. And the tableau depicts the myths of Norse mythology. The chapter in the start of the main float depicts the Valkyries, who were female warriors who did Odin's will. Oh, they had frightening names like Shabbat, Raging Warrior, etc. And they swooped over the battlefield and picked up the dead heroes and took them to Valhalla.
I mean, you'll be able to see on the main float there's Valhalla, and you have Odin, king of the gods, and his wife, Queen Frigg. But just look at the workmanship that's going to that, and to the horses alone, it's marvellous. And last year, you might remember, if you saw this carnival entry last year, they entered with Venetian Masquerade, which was a stunning entry, but I think they've done even better this year. Windwhistle Carnival Club, Weston-super-Mare, Viking myths and legends. The music you can hear is the ride of the Valkyries. But look at the dogs on the side.
Yeah, we'll give a special mention to Andy Burton, Jeff Cooper, Sue Pell and Alan Afe.
And Sue made the costumes for this
Oh, she did,
float.
yes.
And there's another Egyptian entry. The Pharaoh's Story.
This, of course, is from the oldest club in the Carnival circuit at the moment. It's the Crusaders Carnival Club. And they're based at the Duke of Monmouth in Bridgewater.
And you can see one of the main attractions on this float, for me, if anybody, is the marvellous heads, 6 pairs of rotating pharaoh's heads. Absolutely great. And there are the ladies and the boys. You mustn't forget the boys. Like I was saying earlier on, when you think about all the entries that are very active entries, and this obviously one is from the Crusaders, they've got to keep it up for 2 hours. Good luck.
Oh, we can see the lead dancer there, the little girl dancing right at the front. That's the choreographer for the Crusaders Carnival Club. That's Cindy Dunstable. So she was responsible for the dances, keeping the boys and the girls in strict timing.
And the music is Rockford House Bar. Nice music going. Egypt was never like this in your day.
I doubt it.
And the drivers getting into the spirit. Last year they had Rebel Yell. I think they've done well with this year. Pharaoh's Stories. I like this one. Here you can tell we have a male cameraman.
Cindy. I know, that's Cindy.
I know. That's our Michael. Lovely entry from the Crusaders.
Well, Sharon Allen, she's from Penny's Peace in Broome in Somerset, and her entry this year, walking entry, is a vision of a saint. This is based on a statue made by Johann Zeckel in 1209. of St. Joseph, and it stands in the Minster Cathedral at Freiburg.
And here's Tracy Allen, and her entry is Push Pop, and Tracy lives at Penny's Piece in Frome. The model maker was Martin, and costumes made by Brenda.
Another trade exhibit here. This is mobile windscreens. The National Windscreen people. Dial free 0800 622 122 for if you ever need a windscreen. Remember that number. We've got the Boys Brigade coming through now in their little mounted entry. I know it's just a little float. It is nonetheless very, very good. And now St. George and the Dragon. We'll try and pick out these little fellas for you.
Waving their flags and being terribly patriotic.
That's right. The motto of the Boys Brigade is sure and steadfast. Very clever little dragon. And talking of dragons, we have the young dragons.
Another piratical entry.
Absolutely.
Just 6 years in Carnival. They're based, the mums and dads are based at the Globe Inn, North Petherton.
A lot of pirates.
Has to be the mums and dads because the youngest is 3 and the oldest is 14.
And there's one in the middle there. They're little sleepy pirates. I think the 3-year-old is the little girl in the front in the red.
Yes. And special thanks to Jay Kirk and N. Parsons for making the costumes this year. They won a second prize in Taunton Carnival, and they're looking for more children to join for a mounted entry next year.
That's right, so you mums and dads, do your best. You've got a year to work on that. Another collective flow from
He's trying to increase the population in North Petherton.
From the Shepton Mallet Round Table, and Tabor's enjoyed doing it for the community. Collecting money, that is.
And of course, for every round tabler, there's no doubt a ladies' circler right behind him. Oh, we like this one, do we not? We do like this one. We do. We like the hoedowns. We like Wilfs Go West. Now they're based at the Volunteer Arms in Bridgewater. It's a walking entry. I don't think it's entirely a walking entry. It's a walking and riding entry as well, isn't it? 5 years in the Carnival as Wilfs, and they've got a Western medley with a twist as their music. One of the things you'll pick out from the music, if it plays just as it crosses our screens, is a theme for Rawhide. Yee-haw!
Oh, there they're going. Whoops.
Oh, here it is. The runaway wagon.
That's it. That's the covered wagon coming out through. There's a very special man in there. That's Jeff Paisley, who had 3 years ago, he had a terrible accident. He fell off one of the back of the huge floats and went underneath the generator, and he got broken to pieces. But they put him back together like Humpty Dumpty. Good old Jeff Paisley, and he's up and running again now.
Nice to see you back, Jeff. Cowboys and cowgirls with a difference, entertaining the crowd with their version of a hoedown. Take our partners, kid.
Let's get out and do a little dozy-do.
Special mention also for Derek Irish for his designs and efforts, and his wife Margaret for her tolerance. Nice one, Margaret. It's a nice entry. It's, as you said, it's nice to see Jeff back.
If, like me, you are a great lover of the oldies, the 60s and the 70s, then you'll tune into this radio station. It's Brunel Classic Gold. And that's all they play is the music of the 60s and 70s.
It is, of course, Craig Marsden giving you the chance to win money on the phrase it pays, and of course between 10 and 2 Mr. Gillam on the morning show. All you have to do is pick up that phone when we call you and say, I listen to the good time oldies of the 60s and 70s on Classic Gold. You can win yourself either £50, or if it's Tom and Bosch Day, you can win yourself
Entry number 55. Flower Power. The 16th Western Guides. Oh, I love those wigs. Those sparkly wigs are brilliant fun. Our camera picks them again. There they are, just on the girls at the front of your screen. They're walking across. Very much trying to conjure up the spirit of the 60s. I wish I'd kept my gear. It's all come back in fashion again.
Well, you're still wearing the flares.
Be quiet, you.
Oh, that's how you got your legs on upside down. Oh, let's get back to this one. This is
Anne Boleyn, the ghost of Looking for Henry VIII.
Yes, that's right. That's Emma Kingston and her entry. Have you seen Henry?
And there's little David Graffam, who's grandson of the Kingston family. He's being Hook. Oh look, now he wouldn't frighten anybody.
No, he's a lovely little Hook. And his granddad is just behind. His granddad is Bob Kingston, and he is Lumiere, based on the character from the Walt Disney magical film The Beauty and the Beast. Bob Kingston, who great character. He's been in Carnival for years and years.
Oh, this is the Clutton Carnival Club, and they present Destination Europe.
That's right, the Clutton Club from Clutton. Flying to Weston-super-Mare on Concord.
We write the best lines here at Swift TV. European holidays. I mean, it's coming up to Christmas and it's January. Get out the book. Where are you going to go next year?
That's
How about
right.
some of these destinations?
You can see there's a Spanish lady. I'm going to Spain this year. John Bull.
Stay at home. Weston's good for holidays.
That's right. I was in the pub just now and in the toilet. And a man said to me, European, and I said, no, English. And he said, no, European. European on my shoes.
Yes, boom, boom. That's the brush, where are you when I need you? There's the artwork on the generator. This thing on the screen. Oh, this is the Primeira Carnival Club. Make them laugh. Good philosophy in life.
All the kings of comedy are featured on this one, and we'll try and pick out
You
as
spot
many
all
as
your
we
favourites.
can. In the top, in the roof, you can see Elmer Fudd and his adversary Bugs Bunny in behind his Roadrunner and Wile E.
Chaplin, of
Coyote,
course.
the king of comedy. Yes, Coyote, the laughing policeman there.
Just behind you can see Benny Hill.
There's Laurel and Hardy at the front, who to me
And little
were the
Twinny Boy.
kings.
And of course the essential comedians, the clowns.
The original and the best, the clowns. There's Benny Hill and his Hill's Angel. I think you can
Cartoon
see
characters.
Sylvester and Tom and Jerry at the top. There's Jerry, just got a whack on the toe from Tom. And that's the end of all the
What
movies.
thought about Tom and Jerry?
Da-da-da-da-da-da. That's all, folks.
Taken from the World Wars.
Really?
Tom and Jerry.
Oh, Tommy and Jerry.
And Jerry.
I doubt it. They were Americans, weren't they?
Oh, we like this one. Do we not? Do we
We
not
do.
like
The
this one?
Gorgons Carnival Club. They're based at the Waldegrave
Crufts
Arms.
rejects.
at
How
Chewton-
unkind.
At Chewton Mendip, and they are Crofts Rejects. Exactly. There we are. All the dogs. One with a Scotch bottle is a Scottie.
And there at the back you can see the boxers. Oh,
There's a huge sausage dog there.
takes a lot of feeding.
Well, that's what I call a sausage.
Music you can hear is, of course,
The King, Elvis Presley.
what else could you play but Hound Dog? Oh,
Yes.
look at Fido and his kennel. You've got the Bone Shaker on the side. You've got the Scottie Dog.
Yeah, there's the toilet roll dog. There's your boxers.
Right there. So they're based at the Waldegrave Arms. And everybody in the club ages between 10 to 50. And they're celebrating their 21st year in Carnival this year.
Now we're looking at the Pegasus Carnival Club, and they're bringing us everything that's lovely about the East End. The traditional thoughts of the East End are the pearly kings, the pearly queens, and having a little knees up, a little sing-song, and this is just exactly what it is. Maybe it's a little old-fashioned view of Lambeth, but that's how we like to think of it. Lambeth Way.
Everything you expect from the Pegasus Carnival Club from Wookie, but I just look at the costumes on this. They've used 18,000 buttons and 1 kilo of sequins, and obviously they've all had to be hand sewn, rather you than me. 5,000 lights on this 100-foot long float. They've used 1,200 cobblestones to represent the London streets, and £400 worth of plastic flowers, but real fruit, they tell me, real fruit.
The music, of course, taken from the musical Me and My Girl, Lambeth Walk from Me and My Girl. Just an old-fashioned Cockney carnival park, that's what they say. Oh,
We can cope with that bit, we can do that.
yes, they love that here. A little standing ovation. Good evening. We've got some clowns coming along. It's the 18th Western Guide. And they're a clown patrol. taking a little bow there in front of our cameras, and now going into their routines. And the good thing about these girls, they're very happy, they're enjoying themselves.
And again, members of the round table, this time the Avalon branch. We saw the Shepton Mallet organisation just now, picking up all the coins from the streets of Weston-super-Mare.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You having a good time? Yes? No? Having a good time? Yeah, great. Well, I like to see happy faces because that's happy people are generous people.
This is the British Junior Chamber from Weston-super-Mare, and they are jolly powerful. Another little pirate scene there. Peter Pan and Hook. Haha, Jim lad.
You've been waiting to do that all night, haven't you? I can tell. It's to do with his wooden leg.
My sister was engaged to a sailor with a wooden leg.
Oh no,
She
go
broke
on.
it off. We said it's all a matter of opinion.
You promised me they were going to be better tonight, Jones. You
Coombs
promised.
Executive Travel. I'm doing a commercial. Coombs Executive Travel. If you want to hire a coach, get in touch with Coombs Executive Travel. Don't hire this wagon. This is an ambulance. That's Colin Burlap. He's absolutely
That's
crazy,
Donald
this
Duck.
guy.
Do you
Duck.
know anything?
Oh, well, I know Donald Duck. Inside Donald Duck is Colin
Colin
Burlap.
Burnap, have you got it?
He'd like to say thank you to her indoors, his mum, for making the costumes. Hey, everybody loves Colin. He's absolutely crazy, this
Let
man.
loose from Paris. And who are these nice young girls? If they're nice young girls, you know them, I can tell.
Yes, they're from Greece. Not from Greece, the country, from Greece, the musical.
Oh, Olivia Newton-John and
That's
John
right, they're all
Travolta.
hairdressers, which I don't meet many hairdressers these days.
Well, no, you wouldn't.
They're from the cutting crew.
Quality challenged.
Cutting crew, hair and beauty at 7 Market Street, Highbridge.
I shall suffer for that later on. You wait and see. Oh, because the musical is now on stage in London. Oh, you like this, don't you?
Yes.
This is Luckington Carnival.
The Luckington Carnival Club from Frome, and they're a fairground. A fair on the heath of the 1930s. Yes, this is lovely. This was when fairgrounds were fairgrounds.
It's just a lovely entry, this one. I mean, they've gone into such a lot of trouble to research the detail and the paintwork and
You
the
can see on
decoration
there
on this.
the galloping horses, the swing boats at the front, and the dodging cars in the back. I believe fairgrounds were fairgrounds in the 1930s, right up to the 1950s, but now unfortunately they're fading away and they're becoming theme parks. But I'm happy to say that I worked on a fairground for a little while. Yes, I was that man.
This is two of your favourite floats in succession, Malcolm Jones. It must be your night.
That's right, it's Martin's Carnival Club and Super Rooster. I know.
There's this thing about wearing his underpants over the top. That's what it is.
Super Rooster is a little rascal. He's a dummy, if he doesn't mind me saying that. He belongs to Mickey John Bull. He's a hand puppet, the same sort of thing as Emu, only this guy talks. He's a really brilliant act. If you ever get a chance to see Mickey John Bull and Super Rooster, you will love him. He's outrageous. And that's the song from Mickey John Bull.
And there they are on your screen, bright and colourful. The Marden Social Club from Midsummer Norton, 13 years in Carnival. Their captain is John Robbins and the model maker for this year, Jamie Long.
Yes, there's a beautiful the artwork on the generator car. Super Rooster really is great artwork.
Oh, and here's one of my favourite entries. This is the Pratton Carnival Club from Midsummer Norton. I love this one. Their Butterfly Fantasy. It is such a pretty entry. The colours are gorgeous, but if you have a look at it, the music they've used is Hitching a Ride by Vanity Fair, but they've taken the wings. If you look at the artwork on the wings, they've used a a child-sized paintbrush for working on this, but the wings are coming up and down at the top. Look at the top of the screen and at the bottom. They're revolving. It's just such a lovely, lovely entry. They're 14 years in Carnival. The designer was Richard Lewis, and the model maker, the man with the task of making that design come to life, is Roy Branch. Well done to both Richard and Roy. I think this is such a lovely, lovely entry.
Yeah, they're hitching a ride because isn't it fairies and pixies riding or hitching a ride on butterflies? What a clever idea.
It is, it's gorgeous. And there are so many different ways to put a float together, and I just think that is just such a lovely, lovely entry.
Western auto glaze, windscreens, side windows. They remove and refit specialists. Also portable phones. From the Weston-super-Mare Carnival Club, based at the Sedgemoor Inn in Weston-super-Mare, and their entry this year is the entry of the 90s. Supersonic has arrived. He's here at Weston-super-Mare in the Carnival.
It's just a really lovely, bright, bouncy and just wonderfully vibrant Carnival entry. Now when Glastonbury finished earlier this week, I walked from Glastonbury back to Street and these guys were still dancing on the float as it was going back to park to be dismantled. They really do enjoy themselves on this float.
That's right, their idea of course based on the computer game or the pocket computer game Sonic the Hedgehog.
And the designer of this float is Sue Dunster.
And the Sonics were made by Tony Uli.
Costumes were made by Barbara Wild and Bridget Stevens. Ian Moore is the club captain and based at the Sedgemoor Inn, Weston-super-Mare Carnival Club. Nice one. You watch them, they'll still be dancing at the end of Weston-super-Mare Carnival. You see they're looking ahead to the float, which is going to be on our screens very shortly. This is a lovely, lovely entry.
The one before is equally as lovely. It's the Tidy Wood Spring, sponsored by Quadrant Service Limited. Put it in the bin.
This is the one they've been waiting for. The year 1605, the Centurion Carnival Club from Bridgewater. It's based on the Guy Fawkes plot to blow up the Houses of Parliament.
Yeah, Guy Fawkes was a Yorkshire man, and he became a Catholic at 21 years old. He went to fought with the Spanish army against the Protestants, came back to England and plotted to blow up the Houses of Parliament in 1605. And this is what the Centurions are portraying this evening.
John Lewis is the model maker for the Centurions for this float. I mean, the two-tier float, the painting, just the idea of this, I think it's been very difficult to execute, and it's a lovely float. There you are, you can see them underneath.
That's the plotters underneath with the barrels of gunpowder.
Sue Chilcott, Eddie Owen and Claire had to do the research and actually make the costumes.
And there's the King James I up in his Houses of Parliament, which weren't blown up.
Knowing what was plotting underneath him. Centurions based at the Mansion House, of course, in Bridgewater.
Guy Fawkes was captured on the 4th of November 1605. He was executed January 1606.
Hey, we go Mexicano, Weston-super-Mare.
The Griffins, yes, excellent.
Accent good.
The Griffins, huge entry, Mexicano Carnival. One of my favorite clubs is because I used to be a member, founder member no less. Mexicano Carnival, all alive and kicking and working here.
Oh, this is a terrific entry. Hot, hot, hot. Music by Arab. I mean, look at this. This is another example of the floats where if it moves, if it can move, everything moves. Look at the head on that. It's incredible. You've got the costumes. You've got the flying birds. A South American style carnival fantasy. What an entry from the Griffins. Brilliant. Costumes, it's wonderful.
Yeah, sorry about that. And behind the bird, we've got a sort of alligator creature walking along. There we are, with the men riding it. Oh, they're going to stop here so we can have a long look.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you look at the detail on the costume there, the guy in front of you, somebody's had to sew all that, create it. And that, yes, as you can see, as Malcolm said, there's the crocodile.
Yeah, they won several awards for the best costumes in the procession, and they think they'll win this evening as well.
Oh, there he goes. It's our favourite.
Yes, old Sleepy Dog.
We like this. You go carnival, you drink tequila. What do you do after drinking tequila and enjoying the carnival?
You sleep a while.
Absolutely. Just lie down somewhere and let somebody drift you home. 25 years in the carnival.
Yes, it's their 25th
That
year.
dates you.
I knew that.
He's not giving anything away though, notice this.
On board there is an ex-mayor of Bridgewater. You may be interested to know. That's Mike Creswell. Used to be the mayor of Bridgewater, and he's a carnivalite. Oh, there's a good view of the dogs. Right, the Fleet Air Arm Museum Carnival Club, and their entry this year is big and hairy, long and scary.
Very original entry, we like this, the walking spider. I know the club's had a spot of financial trouble, but they've managed to raise some money to put in this entry. You've got Spider-Man, just getting into it there. Lucky this policeman isn't worried by spiders. And there's a revolving web on the top. Fleet Air Arm Museum, Carnival Club, based at Yeovilton. Second year entry, oh that's nice, I like that. Actually the boots must be keeping them really warm because it's a cold night at Weston-super-Mare. You're not worried about spiders, are you?
Yes, I hate spiders.
Sit on my lap, I'll take care of you.
Spiders and snakes, that's what it takes. I hate
That
spiders.
sounds like a song to me. That is a song.
My life's a song. La Bamba, we haven't heard that before.
Special mention for Carnival Computing and the dedicated members who worked very hard to put this entry in.
The Hillview Juvenile Carnival Club, they're based at Burnham-on-Sea at the Somerset and Dorset Inn, and their entry this year is I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day.
Based on the music by Wizard, it's just a little early for the Christmas spirit, but why not?
I've had a little drop of Christmas spirit.
I didn't like to mention that. You're on the Contro again, aren't you? You told me you were giving it up for this year.
Next year. It's the first year in Carnival for two 5-year-olds. That's Chloe Haynes, who's a fairy, and James Grattan, he's a teddy bear.
And it's the last year for Fritz Britton, Jason White
bear,
and Phil Tibbs. Oh look!
Sound asleep.
Actually going to sleep with all wrapped up, bless him. We're just saying it's the last year for Fritz, Jason and Phil. They're all playing Father Christmas on the float and they're too old. 5 to 16, after that, out.
Into the senior clubs then.
Yep. Hillview Juvenile Carnival Club, Burnham-on-Sea. Mr. Blobby appears on screen again. Noel Edmonds has got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
He's just released his first record, hasn't he, Mr. Blobby? No doubt you'll be playing it on your radio show. And this is the entry from the Wick Carnival Club of Glastonbury. Usually Wick are a mounted entry. They had a few financial problems this year, so they decided to go on foot, but they'll be back next year in a big way. And this is, there's Dusty Bin there. This is their entry, Blobby's House Party.
Blobby's entertaining the crowd. No, I'm not going to sing along to this. I'm very tempted, but the microphone is working, so I wouldn't inflict that on you. And this is the Uphill Motor Company, based obviously uphill near Weston-super-Mare. Last year they entered with Vauxhall to trade entry. This year they've gone for Greece, like it. I love the car though. That is gorgeous. As I said a little earlier, the film was Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta. Now it's a musical on stage in London, still packing them in. Craig McLachlan, you might know as Henry in Neighbours.
Are we on telly?
Oh, I can have the car. Yes, you are, sir. You're on Swift TV.
And before you clap and cheer, they're more likely you are to appear on TV in someone's lounge somewhere.
Westwood Spring Rotary Club, another of the organisations. We've seen Rotaract, we've seen Roundtable, obviously the members of the Ladies Circle. Westwood Spring Rotary Club and the ladies of the Inner Wheel will be here somewhere, encouraging people to throw their money in. And if you're thinking about getting married next year, Cooksley and Son, Weston-super-Mare and their wedding limousine. It's alright, I've been on Malcolm's Quantro. Entry number 91, Cooksley and Son, the Wedding Museum. It's a nice way to see the carnival. Well, this is the Samvantra Carnival Club. They're based at Chapman Slade in Wiltshire. They've come well over the border into Weston-super-Mare this evening with Crown in Glory. Can you stomach this? If you look very carefully, you'll see why.
Now we're going to close up now to explain the whole thing there. Can you stomach it? Because, oh my goodness, the faces out of stomachs. Very clever idea. It's the sort of thing that we've come to expect from Samvantra, who've been going now for 16 years, and they really set the place. Oh my goodness me.
Well, we were told that the youngest member was 8 and the eldest 14, but I think I doubt that.
Well, that's not an 8-year-old, that's for
Most
sure.
definitely not. Last year their entry was Let's Get Hooked. You just see them.
Yes, Samvantra, the name comes from Samantha, Vanessa and Tracy many years ago, and that's Tracy's mum there in the wheelchair being pushed around.
What not to look for on a visit to London.
Absolutely.
Oh, and here's George.
Here's what to look for if you ever go to watch it. He's got his dogs with him this year.
How did he manage that? Animals, of course, not allowed in the carnival circuit, but George has a way.
Just
George
divorced. This is George. He said he met a girl on Saturday, he married her on Sunday, and she left him on Monday, so that's why he's so unhappy. Oh, now he's found another lady. That's Susie. Susie, his dog.
George, of course, was awarded the British Empire Medal.
I think the dog got the medal for staying with George.
He's been in carnival for 9 years.
Yes, just divorced. There you go. There's Susie.
Oh, no, he's got both of them there. Shh, be quiet, they'll spot you. Oh, here we go. You've seen one of your favourites tonight, haven't you?
Oh, yes, yes. Noddy is, I've got an O-level.
He has his thing about Noddy, always at big ears.
O-level in a Noddy. Noddy and friends from the Waterside Carnival Club in High Littleton. They're based at the Welton Rovers Football Club. And this is it, all the great characters from the Enid Blyton book, Noddy.
Remind me to tell you later about his fantasies.
Noddy and big ears. Mr. Plod and all their little helpers and friends.
Yeah, you can see the little cars with Barbie, the little trees. All the girls.
We've got a special mention here from the Waterside Carnival Club. So all the girls in white socks are virgins. There you can see them. And they're willing to swap these 8 girls for a good carpenter. So if anybody's interested, get in touch with the Waterside Carnival Club at the Welton Rovers Football Club. That's Mr.
PC Plod.
PC Plod.
Raving it up at the back. Designer is Rob Crawley and the club captain this year is Rich Carlton.
And the costumes are all made by the girls in the club. I don't mean the girls are actually in the club, but you know what I mean.
Oh, Carey Comedians. Oh, I like this one.
Yes, Pussies Galore, that's the name of the entry. They're from Castle Carey, of course. Based at the Orchard Farm in Cockhill.
16 years in the carnival business. The eldest pussycat you'll see on your screen is 88, and the youngest you'll see is 14. Oh, and the music, we like this one. I'm Too Sexy, like said Fred. There it goes.
Yes, and the middle cat at the top in green was Too Sexy. Oh no, they've changed girls there. So she was pregnant.
I wonder if she's had the baby.
Well, she might be. There might be another little pussycat wandering around somewhere. We were told she's pregnant, but she's not on the card this evening. So, congratulations. Be along any time
We'll
now.
just increase the members of the Carey Comedians.
Yeah. But she might have a litter of about 6, you don't know.
special mention for Sparky. Of course, he's Len Fenn. He's the 88-year-old member. Evening, Len. Also to Gordon Stockman, and thanks to Lee Drury, Chippy, who gave up his bank holiday in August to help them make the float. Oh, lovely. You too sexy for my party? Oh, this is one of the outstanding entries.
That's right,
this year.
From the Pentathlon Carnival Club, based in Moreland, with Thatcher's Arms in Moreland, and this is their entry, Hook, based on the Steven Spielberg film Hook, of course, when Peter Pan went back to do conflict with Hook, who pitched his children.
I mean, just look at the workmanship on this. It's like nothing else that you'll see in the carnival this year. Nothing that I've seen, certainly. I just think it's absolutely stunning.
Yes, this is the scene, the ultimate war, when the children of Never Neverland fought the pirates right at the end to try and win back Peter Pan's children from the evil Mr. Hook, or Captain Hook. There's Captain Hook on the stairs.
It's such a complicated float to design and build. The designer is John Seymour, model makers and Mike Grimstein, Sean Evett and Tim Simonite. A lot of work's gone into this in Moreland. I think it's absolutely marvellous. They took a first in Bridgewater and Cleverton, fourth in Burnham, third in Glasgow. Don't forget, make a note of what you think is going to win and just check it with our listing at the end of the video. 22 years in Carnival. I just think that's stunning.
Yes, all the way around, right to the back of the generator. It's a ship from beginning to end. It's excellent.
Absolutely.
From the Avon Road Safety of Weston-super-Mare, kill your speed, not a child. And that's very, very good advice to everyone.
Highlighting the differences the speed makes as if you hit a child, the impact. At 21 in 20 children are killed, and as you can see there, at 30 half the children are killed, at 40 most of the children are killed.
The Cobra Carnival Club, they're based at the Fountain Inn at Wells, and they are back from the future. This year's theme is Merlin the Magician, and all his assistants, all those magical Merlin people there.
And the music you can hear is No Limit by 2 Unlimited. Nice fancy number to dance to as you go around. Keeps you warm on this cold night.
It is getting
Second
cold,
year in
isn't it?
Carnival. Thanks to Stuart Selway, Merv Walters, Mary Grant and Mr. and Mrs. Collins. Actually a couple on this float. Sharon Bond and Paul Fenson have just got engaged. Congratulations. And we're told that Mark and Debbie Ackerman's first baby is due at the end of November. Well, they've hung on this long. Decent of them to wait till the end of the circuit.
They're going to get engaged in December.
Shush! You can't say things like that. You get them into trouble.
The Mad Hatters Carnival Club, they're from Wookiee, and they're Cavemen Capers. And I couldn't think of a better entry to come from Wookiee.
Another club, second year in the carnival business.
That's right, this is Fred Flintstone and all the people from the town of Bedrock.
And Barney and Betty and Wilma. Go on, you're going to say it sometime. What was last year's entry called, Malcolm?
Oh, what a balls up.
That's it.
But I can't quite remember it. Some names you never forget.
Oh, there we go. Our
Dino.
favourite dog of the night.
Dino the dinosaur.
Caveman Capers from the Mad Hatters Carnival Club in Wookiee. Oh, I love him. Look at him. Every home should have a Dino. Just think of taking that for a walk in the evening. Wake you up.
What do you think of the size of the doggy bag?
Shush. I think we're going to say something else then. In days of old.
The Dolphins Carnival Club.
Concentrate, boy.
I'm with it. The Dolphins Carnival Club, they're from the Greyhound in Glastonbury, and it is indeed in days of old. And the most striking thing about this medieval theme is the colours they've used. They've just used the two colours.
They're lovely, aren't they?
The sort of jade green and the white. Very simple, very effective.
It's a medieval court, and the lord and lady are bidding tribute to the knight leaving for battle. It's just such a gamble, isn't it, to do something so simple, and yet gamble on the fact that it's simple and striking, and it's going to catch the judge's eye. And it did. They got a second in Glastonbury.
That's right. And the music, of course, Knights in White Satin.
I like this one. You have the totem pole, you have the carved heads there as you can see it, you have the buffaloes, you have the Indian chiefs, you have the lot. This is the YMCA Carnival Club from Bridgewater. Spirit of the Sioux.
They're very lively this evening, aren't they?
Yes.
And they've been on the firewater.
Kings of the Wild Frontier by Adamantis, the music they've chosen. You can see the chiefs and the braves of the Sioux people. Nice one. Warpath Weston-super-Mare. The gang captain is Sean Ford, and he'd like to say thank you very much to all the members and the helpers and the vice presidents for their support with this year's entry. They hope to make their 25th year in Carnival very special. And they did. Excellent.
Yeah, that's right. Choreography this year is done by Denise Weber. I know Denise very, very well. They'll be well proud of that entry.
Very much. YMCA Bridgewater. Nice one.
The little pink magical castle coming through here, that indicates it's the Phantoms Carnival Club from Glastonbury, and they are Disney characters on tour. And there's Miss Minnie Mouse.
Mrs. Please, let's be politically correct here.
Ms. And there's a Cinderella and Prince Charming.
Oh, Tigger.
Mickey's there somewhere as well.
Captain Hook again, yes.
Captain Hook. That, of course,
no, you're not supposed to smile, sir. No, you're not supposed to smile. You're supposed to be fearsome. He's enjoying himself too much.
That's the Captain Hook from the animated Walt Disney version, of course. Another rival here, GWR FM. A local radio station if you want to tune in and listen to them. GWR FM.
Songs night and day from brilliant artists from the 70s, the 80s to the best of today, and your chance to win. At the moment we're giving away a holiday for you and 5 of your workmates in Los Angeles just for listening to brilliant songs on the new GWR.
Yes, there you are. Listen to GWR Radio on 96.3 FM. Bristol's better musical mix. This is the Royal National Lifeboat Institute, and their entry here just displaying the inflatable dinghy, not a dingy, a dinghy, and it's just reminding us of the great work that this institution does, and it's totally supported by voluntary contributions. This is Cockney Capers. The most remarkable thing about this float, presented to you by the British Flag Carnival Club of Bridgewater, is that 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, these were county champions, and then they hit a little bit of financial problems, but rather than not make an entry, they decided to go in
Sustenance has just been donated, thank you, sir.
They made a small entry this year rather than not go on board, but they say, look at everyone, we should be back next year. They've just given us an orange.
So we're getting pieces of fruit and vegetables thrown at us. They missed.
España! Viva España!
Warm us up on this cold night in Weston-super-Mare. Sort of sunnier climes.
Yes, this is from the Shambles Carnival Club of Shepton Mallet. They're based in the King's Arms, and this is just one of the smaller clubs, but it's nonetheless excellent. Beautiful costumes on here, and it's different aspects of Spain. The dancers, the bullfighters, the matadors, the corredors.
Well, they're a very small club based in Shepton-Mallet at the King's Arms. Only about a dozen members. They are looking for more. They're going to continue. They're not going to fold, they told me. But they would like more members from Shepton-Mallet, please, to join them. Oh, now here is another of the entries that you just want to sit back and look at and enjoy. This is the Vagabonds and Bandwagon. It's another of the ones where if it can be made to move, they've done it. Just look at the guys on the side just going around as you watch the screen then. The engineering, I'm just so impressed by this. Vagabonds based at the Commercial Inn in Bridgewater.
Yeah, one of the older clubs from Bridgewater.
It's such a mixing, the red, the white, the yellow. They've just taken a very simple theme and just got bananas with it. It's brilliant. 47 years in Carnival. Club captain is Philip Winter. Designer for this year's entry, 1993, Graham Palmer. You listen to the music, which is You Can't Stop the Music with Village People. I just really like this bloke.
Oh, I was busy laughing and waving because I know most of the boys in this group, and they just love Carnival. They're Carnival people through and through. There you go, Vagabonds Carnival Club and their Bandwagon.
Nice work on the generator as well. I like the trombone just gone out of our screen there on the top. Oh. This is the Flamingo Fantasy from the Bohemians, a tableau. But just stop it, as it's coming up to your screen now, just look at the headdresses on this. Now this is the work of Eileen Higgins. Incredible. In fact, that is Eileen at the front that our camera's just picked up. Well done, Eileen.
Yeah, this is based on an idea from a real carnival. There it is, it's just exploding in colour, isn't it?
The music appropriate enough, Calypso by Jean-Michel Jarre. They're based at the Quantock Gateway Hotel in Bridgewater. I just love this one. It would be very tempting to take that theme and make it active. And there's a little bit of a gamble to actually go for a tableau with that. There's such a vibrant theme, and yet it works. I'll work on the costumes in that. And of course you can see the flamingos at the side. Cricket St Thomas, have you counted yours? Special mention for Phil Norman, Dave Fawkes and Liz Sloman, and of course we mentioned Eileen just now.
Yeah, I hope you people at home are judging this competition. Don't forget the different categories, the features and the tableaus and the local and the comic. And just before the credits at the end of the video, we will put up all the prize winners so that you can judge your results against the judges.
To give you a hand, second in Bridgewater, fourth at Pemberton and fourth at Glastonbury, the Bohemians.
The Cavaliers Carnival Club and their Magic in Motion, they're based at the Crown Inn in Bridgewater, and they've gone for a very different sort of carnival cart this year. They've taken away the floor and they've just built the thing on a magic wand. There's great rabbits, etc. on the track there, and you'll see in a moment it's a magic wand with hands holding cards and dancing girls all the way around the outside.
Again, music by Queen. 70 years in Carnival, we're told. The
mathematics is not that good.
They're looking good.
The choreography is done by the lovely Charmaine Slocum.
But I love the idea of the hands on that.
Look at the what on that?
Hands, dear, hands. Mr. Bateman, can we have female camera persons next year, please? Cavaliers Carnival Club. Crown Inn in Bridgewater.
Here's a wily old coyote for way down Rio Grande way. There's a Mexican gunfighter followed by another cool dude in a red shirt. Okay, what are they doing here? Well, I'll tell you, they're from the Breen Leisure Park. It's a little country western theme there. But Breen Leisure Park at the Farmer's Tavern, and it's a great place for a good night out. They do all sorts of evenings, Christmas meals, etc. They've got a fun fair down there. everything you ever want. They've got the juice and lot, they say, and they sure do. If you want a good night out, good food, good entertainment, then go to the Breen Leisure Park. The White Hart Carnival Club, and they're from Midsummer Norton, and they're the Dark Sword. And this is based on the role-playing games, done at the sort of Dungeons and Dragons, and they've taken this idea and brought it to life.
Marilyn Barnett is the designer of this year's entry, and the model maker, Mary Brighton, her first season as the model maker. I mean, just look at her work, well done.
This is a direct contrast to last year's entry, which was Alice, which is a gentle little Alice in Wonderland effort, and this is so dramatic. Dungeons, dragons, evil demons, ghosties and ghouls.
No fantasy float entry, isn't it? That's lovely. White Hart Carnival Club, 19 years in Carnival, Midsummer Norton, fire, wind, water and stone. We started off with one of my favourite entries. This is another one. It's just absolutely excellent. The Ramblers Carnival Club is joyous. I mean, look at that. That gives you perfect perspective. Thanks to our cameraman for that shot. That must have been so difficult to build and achieve. Here are all the robots on the side. Oh, as you can see.
That's a huge model robot at the
It's
beginning.
terrific.
And here they are, all the droids.
If you look at the heads of the droids, you'll recognise Crichton there from Red Dwarf, I'm sure you will. I just think this is an absolutely excellent, totally original entry for 1993. It's got a joint second at Bridgewater, joint third at Petherton and Burnham, second at Glastonbury. I'm biased, I would have given them a first. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Mike Hancock and Andrew Brewer were the designers.
And the choreography by Julia MacDonald.
13 to 14,000 light bulbs. Oh, here we go, kid. It's your moment.
That's right. Last night on TV, that was Sunday on Sky. It's
based on the Jones household. This you think it's based on the Simpsons?
I love the Simpsons. There's all the little Bart dudes.
Based at Pilton Working Men's Club. The Jesters. Evening, sir and madam.
Well, he's not really such a bad boy. He's just misunderstood.
Would you want your daughter bringing him home?
Well, no. There's his mum there, Marjorie, with the long blue hair. And you see all the family there, Marjorie, Homer. The Chameleon Carnival Club. And that's our next entry coming up the road, just a little way by the Sword Divided. They're from the Packhorse Inn at Frome, and this portrays the English Civil War, the theme when brother fought brother.
Now, if you were looking at the Pentathlon entry from Moreland a little earlier, and I was saying about the work on that, again, this is another one for me, the same type of entry. They've done an incredible amount of research. They went to the English Civil War Society to get their help and advice, and they wanted to say a special mention for 16-year-old Paul Goodenough for the artwork on this float.
Yes, excellent. This is depicting the battle between the Roundheads and the Cavaliers. Don't forget the last war on English soil took place just down the road in the village of Weston-super-Mare. That was the Battle of Sedgemoor. With us in the rebel county of Somerset, we lost there, unfortunately.
20th year in Carnival, and a lovely entry by the Sword Divided Chameleon Carnival Club in Frome. Now this is a first year entry. Starburst is the theme. These are the Merlins, the Merlin Carnival Club. They're based at the Barton Inn, Barton St David. Again, the music they've used, which you can't hear yet because the last float is just going away from your screen, but you'll hear it shortly, is No Limit by Two Unlimited. And their theme is fireworks. I think for a first entry, don't you think it's good?
Yes, it's
lovely.
excellent. It's excellent. Let's hope we'll be seeing them again for many, many more years to come. I think that's some tremendously good-looking girls on board here, I must say. I must go to Barton St David one day and have a look at their mothers.
He's only saying that to get a reaction. I'm not going to bite. Fireworks is the theme. We've got the rockets. There we go. Red and gold. Around 1,000 lit and shooting stars, we're told, and the dancers depicting flames. Club captain and designer is Clive Cabell.
The Aces Carnival Club. This is one of the comic entries. They're hot, hot, hot. And
We could do with that on this night. We is feeling cold, cold, cold.
Well, these will warm us up. There, this is a Caribbean Fire Brigade from the Rosewood Inn at Burnham-on-Sea. You'll love this one. They're enjoying it. They're so
That's
happy.
the one. I
laughing.
always want to do that one on the front, hanging off the front of the ladder and swinging round. I don't think I fancy that much, madam. Hold on tight. That's it. That's me. I'd love that one.
So, these don't turn up if your house is ever on fire.
Please no. They'd never get up my drive. Caribbean Fire Brigade warming us up. Literally, because we're sitting a lot closer than you are and we get the heat. Evening, gang. Hot, hot, hot by Arrow. Costumes are made and designed by Denise Shepherd, designer of the concept of the float, Paul Lavis and Phil Yu. Based at the Rosewood, Burnham-on-Sea.
You don't need colour to be effective. This is a very, very good entry from the Renegades Carnival Club of Bridgewater, and it's all in black and white, and it's depicting when movies were movies.
There it is, you have the routine, silent movies and the early talkies. If you look at the design on the side of the float that they used to film, I think that's very striking. Sally Williams is the choreographer for this. It's another, isn't it? Very simple float,
Yes,
black
it
and
is.
white, and it works brilliantly. Renegades Carnival Club, when movies were movies. All your heroes.
Western Transport Training Services, we can train you for a career in the transport industry, whether HGV or PSD. And use us, train with the professionals, learn to drive with Western Transport Training Services.
Well, that just about says it all, doesn't it?
It doesn't.
Western Transport
It's being
Training
towed on a
Services.
trailer.
The Buccaneers Carnival Club coming into view now, and their entry, a little surrealistic entry this. I Want to Break Free. Based on the song by Freddie Mercury and Queen, of course.
Queen coming in for quite a few royalties tonight. Very popular choice of music. Thanks to Mike Young for the loan of the generator for this evening. And this is the Western Crossroads car scheme.
Well, we've seen
What
few of them
is
this
that?
year.
That's too much Cointreau. I didn't see that, really. I didn't. That wasn't a pink elephant walking
Honestly,
before me.
this is what we call dolly birds. Here, this is
That's what you like. Let me talk to you about your standards here, Jones.
caring for careers. That's what they say they are.
Here we go, the NHS again. And look at the legs on that.
It's like looking in a mirror for you, Sheila.
Oh, no, that's like looking in a mirror for me. I love this. Tigger!
It's the Pilgrim Carnival Club from the
brilliant.
Puritan Inn at Puritan, Bridgewater, or just outside of Bridgewater, and it's just tickers.
Absolutely. Tiggers, tiggers, and more tiggers, as many as possible. 5 years in Carnival. I just love this. This is brilliant.
This is based on the A.A. Milne Winnie the Pooh stories.
These tickers are wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber. Their bottoms are made out of springs. They're bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. One of the most wonderful things about tickers is I'm the only one.
Now we can see Tigger at the top with Roo and
Oh, in Chango.
Pooh Bear. Couldn't think of his name.
Another striking entry coming in this year. I
Yeah,
mean, we
this-
talked about Rio Carnivals as entry. So this is from the Masqueraders, based at the Countryman Inn Mere, just outside Glastonbury. But I mean, look at this. It's another one.
This is a marvellous light show, isn't it? This is what it's
incredible
all about.
floats this year.
The moving lights on this are quite fantastic. We'll try and get a shot of it blown
Please,
away
please, if our
because
cameraman can put it straight across the screen for you in a minute, he will.
it's as equally as good going away as it is coming towards you. It's a wonderful light show.
Special thanks to Ashley Middleton for the engineering. And yeah, I mean, this is it, isn't it? I mean, look at you've got the fans going round, you've got the headdresses on this. You've got the exotic parrots. It is just such a terrific float. John Thompson is their club captain. The designer is Paul Vonlers. Model maker Richard Collins. I just love this one.
Fantastic entry. Tango. They got some good-looking girls on here as well.
First in Bridgewater, joint third at Petherton, joint first at Burnham-on-Sea, first in Glastonbury. I'm glad I'm not a judge. I would be so hard pushed.
We'll just take a long look at this going up the road if we can, just to see the light show, because it really is effective. Great work. Well, that's it for this evening. That's the
What a
last
number to
stroke.
end on.
Yes, there's a good shot as it disappears into the distance. In just a moment the credits will roll and you'll be able to see who did win this evening. Let's hope you've got the winners the same as the judges did. But we'll just say good evening this evening. This is Malcolm Jones signing off, the voice of Carnival, saying good night to you all. Hope you enjoyed the tape.
I'm Sheila Lee Ewers, and I hope you've enjoyed our glimpse for you of Weston-super-Mare Carnival 1993. Another goodie.
Yep. Good night, everybody. God bless.
Good night.